Hi guys, my name is Kendra and I'm rereading all of the Sarah J Maas books for Crescent City 3 release, and today we're going to be talking about A Court of Mist and Fury. This is a fan favorite of the series. I don't know if I have the same opinions, but I definitely reread it and I'm super excited to talk about it. I'm going to go into full spoiler details. I'm not going to give a full summary, but I'm going to give you my thoughts, feelings, rants, and raves about it. So I hope you guys stick around and let's get into it. This book starts 3 months after A Court of Thorn and Roses, and Tamlin and Feyre are not handling what happened well. Feyre's losing weight, she's losing sleep, she's not eating, she's throwing up constantly, she's being plagued by nightmares, and she can still feel like the blood of the innocent people she killed. She is not doing good. I can't stand the first like 20% of this book back in Spring Court because it's so fucking just dumb to me. And it's not dumb like the writing or anything like that. It's just, I guess when you go through something traumatic and you have the PTSD of all these things, everyone copes differently. And I want to give her like the respect and space she needs to figure this out. But Tamlin, oh my fuck. It sucks because Tamlin, I think, is terrible. So one of the great reasons is that I think that is because of the tithe. And the tithe is people of his court have to come and give him pretty much taxes. It's pretty much taxes. And it doesn't have to be money. It can be fish, it can be bread, it can be livestock, it could be gold, but it's like whatever they can contribute by their income percentage. And there is a creature, a water wraith, who can't give anything because she has no money, she has no food, and he calls her a gluttonous monster. And Feyre gives her jewels to pay her tithe off, and Tamlin gets so upset and again calls her like a gluttonous monster or a gluttonous beast. And Feyre's like, you've never been hungry before to know what it's like to be truly starving, and then someone wants what you don't have. And she lost her shit on him. And then he does come and apologize, but he only talks to her at night. He goes and does all of his High Lord bullshit or goes away for days and then comes home just to fuck her. He doesn't talk to her. How's your day? How's your coping? Did you, like, nothing. They don't do anything besides fuck. And she even admits that, like, they're not good at communicating. They're only good skin to skin. And even then, once you get with Rhys, Tamlin ain't shit. She's supposed to get married to him, but she can feel deep down her bones like she doesn't want to marry him, and she backs out. Another thing I can't stand is that high priest. I know her name is, I don't know, I call her Edith because it looks like Ian and then If, so I call her Ianith, but it could be fucking, I also slip in between Edith. I never understood why he took her more seriously than Feyre. And it might be because she's a high priestess, and I can see that, but this is supposed to be your life partner. And I feel like there is the opinion, the word you should take above all, and not some broad. When this chick tells Feyre, this is your wedding dress, you don't get any say. This is it. And Feyre's like, I don't want this. This looks terrible. And Tam's like, well, she knows best. She knows best. Then you can have her. You can marry her then. She would love to marry you. Why don't you marry her then? If you're going to I'm not just here to make babies and to look pretty in this boring ass castle. What is the purpose of Feyre? He doesn't love her. She's withering away. She's depressed, and he doesn't want to talk to her. He thinks that, oh, you need to start painting again. That's going to fix things. Here's a new paint set. And she even tells him, I can't paint because that part of me is empty now of all the bad things he does. You know what he does? Do you know what this fucker does? Explodes in his office. Explodes where furniture is breaking and throwing at her. The walls are shattering, glass is breaking, throwing it at Feyre, and she can protect herself by a shield. And then he wants to be like, oh, I'm sorry. And she even says, he made love for me for a day and a half, and he was truly sorry. And then he was gone. and then he dips. Here's another thing that didn't make sense to me, and when Reese said it, light bulb went off. When he picks her up to fulfill her part of the bargain, which she's supposed to spend 1 week a month with him at the night court. Okay. He makes her read. He teaches her how to read and write. He actually makes an effort to teach her how to read and write. And when he did that, I'm like, oh my gosh, that she absolutely should have done that. Why didn't Tamlin do that with her? Why didn't Tamlin even at the very least hire her a tutor? He didn't give a fuck if she could read or write. He probably thought it was a great thing because she can't read maps and treaties and letters and other stuff and war documents because she's just some dumb human that's supposed to look pretty with bows in her hair and plan parties. How is she supposed to plan fucking parties if she can't read? That was another thing Reese said. If you want to be a High Lord's wife, you're supposed to plan parties. You're supposed to send invites. You're supposed to send thank you cards. You can't fucking do those things. So why didn't Tamlin make that another priority for her, for him to help her with, if she's supposed to do all these fucking bullshits? She couldn't even write her own child's name if he kept her illiterate. I can't stand this fucking man. Feyre gets mad at Lucien because Tamlin keeps taking away her freedoms, and she keeps going to Lucien, you need to talk to me, you need to talk to him. He does talk to Tamlin. And that's what she gets really mad at Lucien. And I don't know why. Because Lucien does talk to Tamlin several times. You see it. He tries to talk to him several times. And every time Tamlin growls, turns into a beast form, and throws Lucien down. So what the fuck did she think he was going to accomplish? And why is she mad at him? Like, you let him lock me in there. Yeah, you know why? He's the High Lord. He's a High Lord. You know what High Lord means? He's the highest. It's his house. It is his land. He's not like Reese and wants to share with you. He thinks that you are a piece of his property, which you figure out. He realizes that at the end of the fucking book. And you just stay here and you accept it. You can't be mad at Lucien. He's talked to him like 3 fucking times. It shows, at least in the book, that he has tried to talk to her and explain, hey, maybe we should let her out. Maybe we should train her. Maybe we should physically train her for war. Maybe we should physically try to help her with her new abilities because she has the abilities now of the 7 High Lords. Maybe we should try and train that. He's done that several fucking times. And then Feyre wants to get mad at him. Girl, he was your fiance and you couldn't do shit and you thought Tamlin was going to do something? Please. Feyre kind of confronts Tamlin, and when he's talking about, she's talking about she wants more freedom. She wants to be able to go places. She wants to be able to walk the grounds without people following her. She wants to just live and breathe. And he's like, I can't do that. You have to have someone with you at times. And then she says, and I quote, then marry someone else who can put up with it then. It's about fucking time. It is about time, girl, that you said something with your chest. I'm so proud of you. Because I would have said something way worse. Like, you can go fuck yourself. You know what you can do? You can take your talons, shove them right up your fucking ass, and maybe you can pull that stick out of there too while you're at it. But, you know, I'm proud of her for actually saying something because she's not with Tamlin. Oh, Tamlin. He's right about to lock her up in the house, and she's bored because he won't let her go out in the grounds. He won't let her go out in the village and help. He won't let her do anything. She has to have people with her at all times. And he's about to go off to do fucking who knows what. And she's like, let me go with you. And he's like, no, you're not going to go with me. And she goes, please, I need to get out of this house. I need to help the villagers. And Tamlin says, you can't sleep through the night. You can't even be around people. So what good or what help can you provide? Why don't we bring up more of her PTSD and shame her for it instead of helping her? Why don't you have dinner with her? Why don't you take her for a walk? Why aren't you taking her to the village to go look at fucking people? Why aren't we trying to help her in some way? Get her some type of therapist besides some slutty fucking high priestess who rapes people, and maybe find her some help or get to know why she has PTSD, why she can't look at the color red, why can't she paint anymore, and why she's throwing up at night. You're not doing any of that. You're not doing any of that. Maybe you spent a little bit more time with her. She would have stayed with you. But did she? Let's check. Did she stay with him? No. No, she didn't. Reese came and saved that. The only good Moore did in this entire book was to bring her. That's another thing. Moore comes and gets Feyre out of the Spring Court, right? I can't stand Moore. That's another video for another day. But Cassian could have technically done it too. Because my point is I don't care for Moore. You can cut her out of the story and it would still have no impact. So Cass could have technically took her out, or Azriel, or Amren. Someone trying to stop Amren? I would love to see that. I would love. Amren's one of my top favorite characters. She's a snarky girl, but love her. If a book has a riddle, a poem, a song, anything like that, a prophecy, I am not going to read it. Let me tell you why I'm going to read it. 2 simple reasons why I'm not going to read. This is exactly. I want someone to tell me enough time where this is not how it happens. A character's going to read it and they're going to be really confused. You're like, I don't know what that means. They talk in code. I don't know what that means. And then someone older and wiser is going to explain to them what it means, or they're going to have like an epiphany at the last second at the end of the book and go, oh my gosh, I know what it is. And then they're going to explain it to me what it means. So why would I need to put in the work and energy to try and figure out a riddle or a poem when someone else is going to explain to me the hidden meanings and the codes and break it down for me? You know what I mean? That's how it usually is. So I'm not going to read it. So when the Weaver is singing a song about whatever, I ain't going to read it. When Amanthera was trying to give out the riddle, I didn't care. Because Feyre at the end broke it down and figured it out on paper for me. So I didn't have to do it, because when I did, I actually did read it the first time I read the book. I didn't know what it was. I didn't know what the riddle was. I looked at it and I'm like, I don't know. That could be anything. I don't care. I do not care. I don't care about prophecies. I don't care about riddles, poems, songs. Don't care. It's good. Someone will explain to me what it means down the road. That's just me. One thing I didn't realize from this book is when Feyre leaves Tamlin, she goes to Valaris immediately, takes a nap, wakes up, goes to dinner with the inner circle. The next morning, so a full 24 hours go by, she goes to the bone carver. Full 24 hours go by, goes to the bone carver with Rhys. And then literally the next day, so another 48 hours, she goes to the Weaver. Within 48 hours, leaves Tamlin, meets Inner Circle, goes to the Bone Carver, goes to the Weaver, and gets the ring. And let me tell you something. I love the Bone Carver. Bone Carver is a really interesting character, and I wish they explained a little bit more of his abilities and gone more into depth with his character, or its character, because I think it can be anything. I really like the Bone Carver a lot. I wish they went into more detail about him. You know who also I love? Cassian. I love his sense of humor. I love his swagger. I love the playfulness of him so much. And I know Rhys is our boy, but if Feyre fell in love with Cassian too, I wouldn't be mad about that. And I know there's a lot of Azriel girlies. I'm waiting for his book to fall in love with him, because I'm not 100% in love with him like I am with Cass and with Rhys. But, you know, I'm not saying he's not cute, and I'm sure he sings great, but I kind of like the other Bat Boys better. Let me tell you another reason why I hate Tamlin. Here we go. Rhys explains what happens with the death of his sister and his mother. Tamlin and Rhys both are sons of High Lords. Their dads are cocksuckers. They're mean, they're cruel, they don't like it, they're mean. So they relate to each other and spend time together. But Tamlin's dad does not like that his son is becoming friends with a half-breed High Lord son, and the High Lord dads don't like each other, and he doesn't like his son talking to Rhys. So Tamlin tells his dad, hey, Rhys is supposed to meet his sister and his mother on this trail to go up to the Illyrian camp. I think that's where we're supposed to go to a campsite. And you know what, Tamlin? He gives that information freely. I don't know if he's like, oh yeah, I'm supposed to see Rhys later today, but he's going over here with his sister and mother. I don't know how the information came, but he went with his brothers and his father to meet up with Rhys' sister and mother and killed them. He was there. He was fucking there. He gave the information and he was fucking there. Now here's the thing. You never understand if he was there like, I don't want to be part of this, please. Like, I don't know if he's trying to convince these people to come back. He was fucking there though. I don't know if he helped. I don't know if he held a shovel. I don't know what the fuck he did, but he was fucking there. So I am not happy about that. And you want to talk about, oh, Tamlin's such a great guy. Hope he gets hit by a fucking bus. Everyone talks about chapter 55 being the best chapter. It's not. It's 54. the best chapter of that whole book is when Rhys declares how his love for her, how he fell in love with her, how he's known her for years, and how he's been seeing her in the dreams, in visions, and he fell in love with her when she killed the worm. That to me is the best chapter. Is the spice good in the next chapter? Absolutely. But if after you fucking read A Court of Silver Flames, you can't go back to this. You can't go back. It's her writing in these books are beautiful sex scenes. Like, everything is so beautiful and wonderful. And yeah, sure, she does kick up the spice so it's not so poetry like. But when you have him say things like ball slamming good, how am I supposed to go back to Court of Fist and Fury and be like, oh yeah, this beautiful sex thing. Fucking Cassian is railing, bowing out backs. That's what I want. What do I know? When I first read the book, it didn't make sense to me, but now it does, about how Feyre was able to blast all the wards at Highburn. Because when I was reading it, they lost their powers. And then out of nowhere, Feyre gets so fucking angry that like her power comes back and she bursts through the wards so they can winnow out. But now I understand. What she explained was, she said it felt like a fist had a hold of her powers and she's fighting against this fist until she realizes you shouldn't fight. And she'd be like, I was made, we're the same. And she starts like being sweet, and she says caressing it. And she starts saying like, we're the same. You and I are both made. You can't be my master because we're the same. And she starts caressing it, and that's how her power was able to get through to winnow against Tamlin, because Tamlin tries to snatch her. And then she starts fighting again, but it comes out tight. And then she says the main reason why she was able to bust through and bust the wards is she acted so fast, the fist around her power couldn't act fast enough, and that's why she was able to burst through. And I understand it better now, because I get tired. I love Sarah J. Maas. I love her. I have all of her books. I love her. All of these books are people going through horrible things and they don't do anything. And then the horribleness ups up another level, and then they're angry, and then they ups up another level, and then they finally get so fucking fed up about a situation that all their anger and power burst through, and they can break blood oaths. That's something I get pissed about. They can break blood oaths. They get empowered by their long lost dead parents or dead ghosts, and they finally and like bust through it. And that's what happened with Feyre, is she got fed up when her sisters got made, and she was able to, not the first time, but when all sisters got made into beautiful fucking fairies. Here's another thing. Let me let you. Lucien and Elaine, they're mates. I don't want these girlies saying, it's Asriel, blah, 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 or the weird theory about how it's actually Tamlin who's mates with her, but Lucien decides to like step up and take one for the team. It's not. It talks about, in this book, we're not talking about the other ones, in this book, it says that Elaine looks at Tamlin like she knows that's his mate, and then Lucien goes, you're my mate. They're trying to, like, it literally, Feyre goes, I could have sworn Elaine looked at him and he knew that who he was to her and blah, blah, blah. And then the next book, which I'm rereading right now, it does go into bigger details that she does know that this is mate. Lucien knows is the mate. They have the mating bond, and he can feel the mating bond because she hasn't accepted it yet. She can't feel it, but he can feel the mating bond, and he can physically feel it, and he even tugged on it, and it's like startled her. I get too worked up. He talks about how he can feel the physical bond, and he actually pulled on that bond, and when it did, she said it startled her, and she actually like moved, like, and she said, you have like it felt like a rope was tied around my rib and gave it a jerk. And so they're mates. I'm not doing this fucking Asriel and Elaine stuff because I know there's 3 sisters and 3 brothers. I don't care about that. I think his mate is either Gwen or Bryce. I would love Bryce, but fuck him up. I love that. That's a whole other thing. So this book is a fan favorite out of the whole series, and I do enjoy this book. I really enjoyed it. I think each ACOTAR book, besides A Court of Starfrost and Sunlight, or whatever the fuck it was, besides that one, which I can't stand novellas, so I kind of don't want to like include. I am going to read it, but it's not part of the 4 main books. Each book gets better and better, so I do enjoy this book. It's 5 out of 5 for me. It's just not my favorite in the series. Especially rereading it, I fell in love with Reese again. I love the Inner Circle minus more. She can fall off a brick. She can fall off a bridge. I did enjoy this book. I'm giving this one 5 out of 5. I fell in love with Reese again. I love the Inner Circle minus more. She can catch one to the dome. I don't care for her. I really enjoyed all these other characters like the Weaver and the Bone Carver. I like all the action that happened. It was like a bunch of boom, boom, boom things happening. I really liked it. I can't stand Tamlin. And I'm really looking forward to the next book of the High Lord meetings. I fucking love that scene. So good. But I do enjoy this book. I do probably reread I don't reread this book a lot, but it's a lot of like parts that I like to reread. And reading it fully through, I caught a lot more things that I don't think I did the first time, and I understood things a lot better. So I did enjoy this book. I am almost halfway through A Court of Wings and Ruin. I'm really liking this reread a lot. So I will be doing a video about that as well. Let me know if you agree, disagree. I would love to have conversations, especially when it comes to these books, because I feel like I'm so excited for CC3 and I have so many theories and ideas and I just want to get it out there. So please let me know in the comments below and I'll see you guys in the next one.